Good morning, everybody. I am hopping on for our weekly challenge hour live, and we are going to walk through how to do this week's challenge. So if you're on, go ahead and say hello to me. So I know you're here. I'm just going to double check that I can see myself on my page here. Let's see. Oh yes, there I am. Okay, and of course my screen always looks so different than it does on there, but it's okay. So I just wanted to run through some things with you guys before we get jumped in here. My daughter has a half day, so I will be hopping out pretty quick. I pick her up at like 11:30, so want to get through it, but I also want to do a nice job of showing you guys. So here are some announcements for today. Again, if you're on, please say hello. All right, I'm gonna move my computer over here. Okay, so coming up, actually this week, this Saturday, I am doing a Christmas card making in cocoa, and it's gonna be like tea or whatever, hot drinks. Cocoa and Christmas card just flowed better together. From 10 to 2 at the Pier in Ludington, and if you don't know where that is, that's downtown in the same building where Humanity is. And as you know, you can get fun little drinks at Humanity. You can get teas. I think they have sipping chocolate, which is their version of hot chocolate. And then I think there's some other goodies in that building as well, like the bakery and stuff. So come on down and support some small businesses and come make some Christmas cards. It's just going to be a fun way to ring in the season. So I'm pretty excited about it. I have a bunch of cards ready to go, and I have different price points, so you can get the whole kit if you want, or you can just do one, and it'll be lots of fun. So bring your friends and let's have a good time. My open house, you're all invited to my virtual open house. It's only going to be in my Ashley Scrappy VIP group. It will not be on my public Ashley Rulig Creative Memories Advisor group, just because this is more of a more intimate kind of time for my ride or dies, so we can kind of celebrate, and I can thank you for your support this year, and just kind of offer you some deals and sell off some excess product I have at a good price. So, and maybe some rare stuff you're looking for. I have a whole stash I need to go through yet, so don't know what I got yet, but if I find something, I'm going to probably post it to get rid of it. So, make sure you join me. It'll be over that weekend, the 6th through the 8th, December 6th through 8th. Most of the posts will happen Friday night and Saturday, and on Sunday I'll be doing like drawings and stuff like that. It's also going to be like a virtual crop weekend, so I'll post a few challenges for you to do. That way you can do some, get some pages done before the holidays, and it'll be lots of fun. So don't know what to expect yet in that group in that time, but it's going to be so much fun, and we always have a blast. So make sure you pop in. If you're not in my Ashley Scrappy VIPs, please request to join. And I'm definitely going to vet you. That's the purpose of that group, is to make sure the person's legit. We get a lot of spammers and stuff in my open page. So that one is one that's a little more closed off, so people feel safe sharing and stuff. So that's happening. Here is like an outline of everything coming up. So we already talked about the first two. I do a Scrap Together live also every month on a Wednesday night. It's going to be December 18th. Pending, schedules. I might push that one just because holidays are crazy, but as of right now, I'm still planning on it. So 7 p.m. on both of my Facebook pages. So don't need to worry if you're not in my VIP group. I will do it the same I do like with this one. Stream them both. And then something I'm super excited about is Scrappy Winter Camp. So I do a Scrappy Summer Camp typically, and I decided to do a winter version this time around, just to see how that's going to work. So the premise is you get 10 weeks. It's all virtual, so you don't have to go anywhere or pack up your stuff and move it. And I post 3 challenges a week, and I do drawings each week, and then I do grand prize drawings at the end of that time. So the cost is only $45 for the whole winter, and it runs January 4th through March 16th. So that's quite a long time to pass winter by. You might as well do it scrapbooking, right? And then I'll do some fun things. You'll get a goodie bag or box. I'm not sure yet. One of those two. I'm slowly gathering the stuff right now. So if you're interested, please sign up by December 15th so I can guarantee you stuff. Right now I'm ordering stuff, and if it runs out, I'm going to have to like replace it. And so people might get different things, but that's okay. It's not going to be too pertinent for your challenges at this point. There might be a couple things, but that'll be mainline stuff. So if you're interested in that, reach out, or if you have questions, let me know. But I would love to have you at our little virtual winter camp. So pack your bags. It's going to be an adventure. All right, so we might as well get to our challenge here. I'm just going to pull my screen back up so I can make sure I can see comments and stuff. Again, if you're on, say hello, just so I can see you and know that you can see me. I know you guys are probably busy with Thanksgiving preparations, so if you're doing anything fun today, comment. I love to hear what your like Thanksgiving traditions are, especially like leading up. So Thanksgiving is definitely one of my favorite holidays, so I'm pretty excited for it. It's just less pressure, I feel. I don't cook though. Like, I'm making pie and, you know, I'm bringing rolls to a gathering, but that's about it. So I have a little less pressure than those of you probably cooking. So I just love it, and it's just cozy, and you get to be all together, and I enjoy it so much. So yeah, shout out in the comments what you're doing, or just say hi, so I know you're here. All right, so without further ado, we are working on a virtual crop sketch from earlier this year. It's number 2 from April. You might recognize it if you've done it, great. If not, I'm going to show you how, and if you want to do it again, great. This is one you can use over and over, I feel, and change up the papers, and it will look totally different. So this is my first crack at it, so you guys get to watch me. I hopefully won't break any tools today. Last week I broke my border maker, so I have one on order, so hopefully it'll be here. I'm not going to use it today, so it's already planned. I wasn't going to anyway, so we're good. So we're going to get started. For my base, I believe I'm going with this white cardstock. I've been starting to like white more and more just because it helps other colors pop. And then I am using, let's see, first of all, I'm doing pictures from our time in Disney Springs. So we ate at the Polite Pig, and if you've ever eaten there, you know how good this place is. We ate there twice when we were there this last trip because we were just like, it's so good. We wanted to try different things. So I'm not using all these photos here. I'm probably going to do a double page layout at some point. But for today, I'm going to use mostly the food ones because I can cut those square better than these ones. So it's funny, I'm wearing this shirt today. That's hilarious. So I'm going to use those and then later make another page, maybe the same way with these two. So that's what we're going to do today. And because I was looking for some theming, I decided to use, this was like part of a U-Pick promo, I believe, the Backyard BBQ paper. I don't know if you guys remember that. There's stickers I went with it as well. I've used a few of these. So we're going to see what fits here. Like, Bring On to Me is totally appropriate. So, and then I also pulled up some of my other foodie stickers, my food truck embellishments. We're just going to mix and match today. So I'm pretty stoked to be putting this together. I love food pages, especially when you're on vacation. So that's what I'm putting together for you this morning. Let's see. Okay, just making sure there weren't any comments. So we're going to begin. You want a base for sure. You can pick a color. You can do whites. You can pick some kind of light tonal design. I wouldn't do anything too crazy in the background because the squares are going to be crazy enough, I feel. So I'm just going to run with white, play it safe. And then for this middle square, you're going to put your photos on kind of a center square that's 7.5 by 7.5. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a matte in the middle or if I'm just going to leave that white as well. I was going to do my squares first and see how that worked out and then go from there. So as you can see in this sketch, you need 20 squares cut, and they're all 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. And if you have the square punch, that is the exact size of that. So you can literally get your square punch and punch out all your little squares. I do not have the square punch, but some days I'm like, man, I should get that. And then I'm like, oh, I'll just cut them. But then I go through cutting and it takes forever. So the square punch is a great tool to have on hand for things like this. So if you have that, go ahead and pull that out. You'll want that. I do not, so I will not be using that. I'll just be using my classy trimmer over here. I'm trying not to break it. So I'm good at breaking tools lately, just because they're older. So we're going to start out. I have a few papers here I set aside. I had some scraps left over from this just to see if I can use them. I also have this paper, and I debated using this in the center because it kind of adds a different texture, but I'm not sure yet. So we're going to do the squares first. I'm going to set this aside for later. It's the same paper as this blue one, so I'm just going to use the blue for my squares. Maybe I'll use some white. I'm not sure yet. So I have 1, 2, seeing how many different designs, 3, we'll say 3, we won't count the other side, that's the same one, 4, 5, 6, 7 different designs. So they're not going to be like equal or anything. This is totally meant to be a random page, I feel. But you can, if you want to do 5 of one and 5 of the other, that's fine. You can balance yours. I'm just going to cut and hope for the best mostly. So never know what's going to happen, huh? So, all right. You guys can see my screen okay. I feel super zoomed in on my computer, but on my screen I'm super zoomed out. So hopefully that's okay. Just holler at me if you have trouble seeing anything. I'll try to watch the comments the best I can. Alright, so as I said, we're going to be cutting these at 3 1/4. So let me see how big. This one's already like 2 and some. So I'm going to try to use up some of my smaller scraps here. So we're going to cut 3 1/4. And you're just going to keep doing this until you have 20 squares. You can do more than 20 if you want, so you can mix and match. I'm just going to do 20, I think. We'll see what happens, but 3 1/4. And you can use, I debated using my new photo trimmer as well. You can use that to cut these too if you have paper that's small enough. So there's 1 square. I'm going to kind of start collecting these off to the side. And like I said, I am being totally random. There's not going to be any any counting really, except that I need 20. So nothing major here. So again, we're going to do 1 3/4. Just repeat that a few times until you have your 20 squares. And this is kind of a repetitive part of this page. There's a lot of P's in that sentence. So there's 3. But yes, I would love to hear your guys' Thanksgiving plans in the meantime. If you want to comment, like, what are you doing? Are you going somewhere? Are you cooking? Are you having people over? Do you have any traditions that are fun? Like I said, I love Thanksgiving, so I would love to hear all about your traditions. So, debate which way to cut this. I think we'll go this way. So our family is actually, last night we had a little sob fest. We discovered our bunny had passed away yesterday at some point. And that was rough. So she was such a cutie. So we just think, you know, that breed gets old really young. It seems like she was only like, I think she was only like 6 or 7, but when I Googled it, it turns out that's actually pretty old for a little mini lops. So I'm not sure. I think that's what she was. She could have been like a Dutch or something. But we're not sure what happened there. We just found her and she had passed away. So we had to have a little cry fest last night. And we just kind of watched movies and cried, and it was hard. So we're kind of in a little bit of mourning over here, but we're back to school. Well, she went to school yesterday, but she went to school today, and I'm back to doing this. So we're going to make it. It's never fun to lose a pet, especially around the holidays. It's just kind of a bummer. So kind of okay. It'll be okay, but she already asked if she can get another bunny, and I'm like, well, let's wait till spring. So yep, it's never fun. All right, how many am I at 2 here? 5, 9, I think I have 9. I have some extras, that's okay. Okay, and again, this is just going to be the most repetitive part of your page here. I'm going to keep cutting 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 over and over. This one I'm only using one side, so I only need a few of these. Because the other side is this grid looking, and I don't really like that for this. Plus I might use that in the middle. So I'll do a few. I'm going to do 1 on each of the sides. Okay. And I have this green. It's nice on both. I didn't have any scraps of this, so unfortunately I have to cut into a whole piece. I have 2 whole pieces of this, so apparently I didn't use this one at all. Let's see. 1 3/4. Did I do that right? Feels wider. Could just be the pattern that makes it look wider. And this one I'm going to want a few because I'm going to use both sides of this one, I feel. This is a good sketch to use scraps up on with, just because, you know, you need a lot of little pieces. So if you have a piece that you can cut 1 3/4 by 1 3/4 out, use it. Help you use it up. So This is one I needed to get done. CM has virtual crops every month. And if you're not on the CM blog, you definitely want to get on there because they post all those on there. And then in the CM, oh, what's it called? The Creative Memories virtual crop group, they do monthly virtual crops. So you want to hop on there and check those out if you have not. All right. Oh, Angie, do you have the square punch? I don't. I know, that's one that I pondered getting, and then it was always in my wish list, and I just never did it. So I'm still debating getting it, especially when I have to do all of these cuts over and over. So, all right, so I think we have 20 squares here. So there's our squares. But yes, if you have the square punch, that is a huge help here. All right, now lining these up, I believe, is probably going to be the hardest part of this entire sketch. It just depends how persnickety you are. I am going to use my 13 by 13 mat. I'm sorry if I'm crooked. It's weird because on one screen I look fine and on the other I look crooked. So try to remedy that for you guys. So on your mat, I think I'm going to lay these out and see like spacing wise. It's okay if you put a couple colors that are the same together, or you can spread them out. It's totally up to you. But on here, you're going to want 6 across, and then, you know, 6 down with the corner pieces. So it's going to be like corner and then 4 in between, pretty much. I might go ahead and just do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know if I want greens in both corners. Do another blue. Okay. So, I think with the gaps and with the squares, you want like 2 inches. Yeah, the math would work out there. 2 inches total per square. So, with gaps and with square, you want 2 inches. So, like this one's from 4 to 6 with gaps in between. This one's from 2 to 4 with gaps in between. So, all together, you want like kind of 2-inch separation. So, like, yeah. Like I said, I am not a math girl, so I'll let you figure that out. I want to say it's probably about a 1/4 inch between each one, which would make sense because you're cutting a 1/4 off each 2-inch square. So if that made any sense at all to you, if not, you just do. You just do what works for you. So funny. Like I said, not a math girl. Get a little texture on this side. I like to lay them out and then see what that looks like, and if I want to move any colors around. I think I might want more of this red, to be honest. Well, maybe not. I could do one on each side. Okay. Trying to stay in the frame for you guys still while I move this around. That's got a lot of green, I just realized. It's funny when you end up with these and you're like, how do I get so many green? But I realized I cut more because I was going to use both sides of that. So, no worries. Get a blue down here. I think I'll, I don't know how I feel with having this matching that. I like to be random with pages like this. So, I don't have enough yellow. I think I need to cut more yellow. And you'll find too, as you put this together, you might be like, oh, I have way too much of this color. I need no more of this color. I might actually run out. I don't think I cut enough. So, which is fine. You can always go back and cut more if you need to. See, I'm going to have a lot of green left over here. So, can need a red here. And I could do another green. It doesn't really bother me. It looks very Christmassy right there, but it's not going to matter in the overall. Yeah, see, I need more colors here. So I'm going to go back to my little, probably yellow. We're going to do yellow. I'll use my photo trimmer this time. Oops, that's okay. All right, 1 3/4. Just going to cut a strip of yellow. And again, hold on your guard, not on the paper, so it doesn't slide as easily. I know that seems counterintuitive, but that is what has worked best for me in keeping your cuts accurate on the new trimmer. Sometimes they slide around, and that's why I feel. So you're gonna get your paper in place, and then you're gonna hold the guard, not the paper. I mean, I might as well cut this one while I'm at it. I could always switch some out if I want. 3/4, 1 3/4. Perfect. Okay. So now I got some more yellow to work with. I might swap out this green. Yeah, I think that's fine. Kind of miss more of this red. I wonder, what do I have here? Is that the right size? Yes. I'd cut more of that. Just another piece would probably suffice. A piece or two. So yeah, it's good to have a few more pieces than even 20, just so you can kind of play with them and move them in and out. Because you won't know what you have until you get a look at it after you lay it all out. So I'm finding I have tons of green. Like, I'm not sure why. And then I also like this side, so I might trade this out here. I think that's what I want to do. Yeah, I like that. All right, so now we're going to stick these down. And again, this is going to be another tedious part of this layout. You don't really need to look at this so much as long as you're lined up okay. You can use repositional to do this. That way you can move them around if you need. Or if you're confident, go ahead and use the actual tape runner. I am going to use repositional because sometimes I don't line things up great the first time. But again, you'll want to use your 13 by 13 mat to help you stay within that 2 inches per square. So I'm just going to take a corner and go for it. I tend to use a lot of repositional when I'm using it. So again, I'm going to be between this line and a 10, this line and a 10 this way. That way I can kind of keep them all fairly lined up. I am not good at lining things up, so when I have my mat to help me, I'm darn well going to use it. And then you'll just kind of have to eyeball the top line here a little bit. I'm also kind of working at an awkward angle because I feel like I'm reaching way up here because I can't pull my mat too close to me without it going off the camera. So I do have a new tripod coming hopefully this Christmas. I hinted at my husband and sent him the Amazon link because the setup I have right now just is not too ideal for having a tablet. For the phone it was great, for this not so much. I have one of those like bendy arms and the tablet's like too heavy for it, so it will not line up very well because it just goes and can't zoom out anymore. So I have to like set it up so it's weird and just kind of not fun to work with. So I'm hoping for a new one for Christmas. And again, you can get as tedious as you want with this. I'm probably gonna run out of that while I'm working. I go through so much repositional tape runner because I love it so much. And then I find I tend to use it like I plaster it on harder than the other ones, which I don't know if you have to do that. I just feel like I do that more. I think it's because it just feels so dainty, but it's not. It actually solidifies pretty hard over time, so it does become permanent. I've had people ask me that. Yes, this does become permanent. I have tried to pry things off before a week later, and it was like ripping it. So it's just for temporary, like moving around during, you know, your project. So once it's on there and you've waited a day or two, it's going to be on there pretty good. So you have nothing to worry about with that. I have tested it myself. And I know others who have tried to remove things and they're like, oh my goodness, it was not removable anymore after, you know, a few days. So at least for me, that is what I've discovered. Yeah, so my goal, if you haven't been with me over the last few videos, is I'm working through our Disney trip earlier this year, and it's going to be a good 2 to 3 albums, I feel, because we did so much. Not just Disney, we did some Florida things too. And my goal is to use primarily CM stuff because, you know, I am a CM advisor and I love their stuff, but I do get, you know, oh, they don't always have things for, you know, Disney trips and stuff, so you buy, you know, like whatever other stuff you need. So my goal for this was to show you guys that you can think outside of the box with CM's collections, which I love because I'm finding, I'm a little nervous, I will say, I will admit. I walked into this challenge for myself and I was like, oh, what if something doesn't work? And I'm not done with it yet, so you never know, but I have mostly used CM stuff for my book. So there is an occasion, like I think I did a Frozen page and I had an Elsa sticker, which obviously CM doesn't sell that because licensing with Disney is rough. It's expensive too, from what I've understood. So I did have one of those. I did throw on my page and that was fine. But primarily like paper and backgrounds and, you know, this kind of stuff, I'm trying to use only CM. One, because I want to use up my stash. And two, I just want to show you guys how you can think outside the box. So I think last week I did a Star Wars page. Yes, that was the one where I broke my my border maker. My old border maker was not new by any means. It was very old. And I used the new Revved Up collection, new for this year. The Revved Up collection, because that has a kind of this grungy, you know, feel to it. Kind of a worn look like Star Wars stuff tends to have, you know. And it looks awesome the way it turned out. So make sure you guys go back and watch that and see how I did that. There we go. There's our squares. So yeah, that's my goal for this book, is to use primarily CM stuff, you know, with an occasional sticker thrown in, or I might cut a title out of my Cricut. That's fine. But I just want to show you guys you can think outside of the box for using collections. So now another thing I'm debating with my pictures is only using 3 and using another spot for journaling. So I got to think about the other page I would do with this. However, you know, I could just slap these on here, to be honest, but I'll trim those. I think the other page I want to do, yeah, see, I could journal under those. So again, you don't have to stick to the square pattern if that doesn't work for your pictures. For my other page, I think I'm going to do a similar layout, but it's going to look more like this. So just so you guys have an idea of what I'm thinking, and I'll add some embellishments, and then I'll kind of journal under it, like what we all got, and what we liked, and why we love Polite Pig, and why we eat there every time, and why we ate there twice. So journaling in my mind is so important, just because it helps tell a story. So, like, I want to be able to look back at my book and be like, wait, what was that sandwich I got? So, obviously I journaled during our trip. I'm a journaler, I'm a writer, and I refer back to the Disney app all the time to look up, you know, names of dishes so I can put it in my book. Like, my husband loved these weird beets. They had a weird name, so I'm gonna have to look up what those were. But yeah, just so you know, this is what my other accompanying page will look like with these. So I'm gonna save these and do this later. I could have cut all my squares today, but as I said, I have to pick up the kid in about an hour, so I wanted to get through this, but also show you guys how to do it. All right, so now I'm debating. I might go ahead and I might add that. I think I will. I think I need a little more texture in the center here. Or I just need to map my photos individually. I think I'm going to cut this to the size I need, though. So, and that way I can show you guys too how to do it. So if you look very closely to the sketch, there's a big square in the middle that you put your photos on, and that is 7.5 by 7.5. And that's what we're going to put our photos on. So I'm going to fold up my little arm here. And again, I should be working on a level surface. I am terrible about piling up while I'm working, so forgive me. And again, we're not very level here. It should be level for it to count. I'm kind of a sloppy scrapper, to be honest, which is super funny, since I do creative memories, but that's what works for me, and that's my creative process, so it's fine. All right, 7.5. Looks so small. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's what it says. If all else fails, I'll switch it out and we'll just stick to it. Oh my goodness. It's scary. Sometimes scrapbooking is scary because if you're trimming photos, you're like, oh, do I really want to go that small? And you do it and you're like, oh yeah, that's fine. That looks great. Okay. And see, some of my squares are not perfectly lined up. It doesn't matter to me. So check my comments again. Okay. If you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them in the comments as we go. I'll try to periodically check those. I always forget to say that. I do post these on YouTube as well. I like the blue too, dang. Interesting. See, it's so funny when you flip over a paper to use it and you're like, wait, do I like blue? You know, let's trim our photos down first and then I'll decide. That's what I'm going to do. I am so indecisive. It is hilarious. All right, so our photos are 3.5 by 3.5 each. So that shouldn't be a problem with food photos. Now those other photos I'm going to leave probably full size. Okay. Did I just go less than 3.5? Okay, I've done that before. I just trim it off without looking and I'm like, wait, that was less than 3.5. Oh my word. That would have been hilarious. But also not at the same time. 3.5. So I think again, I'm going to meet halfway here and cut some off this side and some off this side. Okay, so there's one. This one I think I can go the full 3.5 this way. This page is making me hungry. I just remember how good this stuff was. These Brussels sprouts were, oh my word, so good. I love Brussels sprouts when they're prepared right. Otherwise I'm just like, ugh. But those, I tell you, were prepared right. I'm trying to bait, do I want to keep my little toothpick? I don't think I need the little toothpick. That's funny. This was like pulled pork belly or something. Oh my goodness, it was so good. I'm like drooling right now. I'm trying to eat healthy, so, which haha, we're going to the holidays, so that's hilarious. I had like a hard-boiled egg for breakfast, which surprisingly filled me up, but very temporarily filled me up. So, let's see. I mean, Brussels sprouts are healthy, although these were coated in syrup and bacon. They were very good. Nice. All right. So all my photo trimming is done. Okay, now I gotta decide which side I want to use. I'm surprised by how much I actually like that blue. Could do yellow too. That might be an interesting choice. I already trimmed the paper, so I probably should stick with this. Interesting. Oh, that's not. Apparently I didn't finish trimming that one. It's not square. I think I only went one way. Whoopsie. 3.5. There we go. Or I trimmed at the wrong line. That's better. Okay. And when I do square photos, I tend to like to go off center. I don't know. It just adds a little more. In my brain, it fills the page more. I'm not sure why. If you know what I mean. Oh man, maybe I like blue more. I think I'm gonna go blue actually. I like the blue. I mean, I could do, let's just, for science, let's flip it over and see. I think the white's gonna get washed out with the other white. I just was afraid this page was gonna be so loud. And even the white's not bad. I'm sure you guys can see the blue better in the camera. Yeah, I think I like the blue. I'm kind of waiting for my live to catch up to see if anyone has an opinion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go blue. Just gonna go with it. I thought it would kind of clash with the other blue on here, but I think it's actually fine. So, alright, now I gotta decide what order I want to put these in. I think I want to do that. Okay. Yep, let's put this down. Use regular old tape runner on this one. I'm not too concerned about lining this one up. Alright, now this one you will want to watch kind of the center to make sure your grids are looking pretty solid. Again, I am not the most precise person in the world, but I think that's fine. Alright, go ahead and just slap our photos right on there. Make sure I left enough space there. Yep. So I do, when I do these challenges, and if you haven't watched these before, like I said, I put these out in various places. I do have prizes for every week for the challenge drawing. So in my Ashley Scrapbook VIPs, that's where I do it, just because, again, it's a little more closed off. It's not so public, so people feel comfortable sharing. I draw, like, everyone who comments with their completed layout. It has to be in that post, in the comments. It's always pinned in the featured section. I put in a drawing on Friday morning, and I spin the wheel, and whoever wins gets a little prize. So it's a good incentive to get pages done. So make sure you go check that out if you are curious about that. You might have to request to join, like I said. All right. So I do love these barbecuey. I don't know if I need these borders a whole lot, but then I have a bunch of these foodie stickers as well, which are kind of fun. Sorry, I'm going off here. Let's see. I kind of like these titles. Nothing here really strikes me, though. Those are all like desserty looking things. So I think I'm going to use primarily stuff from these sheets right here. And then I also, like I said, I have my food truck fun embellishments. Angie says I like the blue better than white. Thank you, Angie. Green would be nice with the green food accents. That's true. Green would be nice with those too. You're talking about the background. Yeah, I agree with that. I like the Brussels sprouts. Would totally bring out the green on it. I love when I can come on here and get your guys' opinions, because I super am bad at deciding things. So, all right. So I'm going to kind of look at my pictures. So it's a barbecue place. So I'm like, well, barbecue, so you can bring on the meat. That is totally my husband's slogan, I swear. And if you're bad at placing embellishments and you're like, where do I put them? You can always go back to the sketch and it'll give you suggestions. You can do whatever you want, though. Maybe you have a picture in a weird spot and you're like, oh, I'll use embellishments to hide that. So this is a good way to kind of gauge where you want your embellishments. And actually on the example that someone did for this post, they didn't have a picture here. They had the denim, what's it called? Denim Revival pocket right here instead of a picture. So, and like I showed you, you know, when I go do that second page, it's just going to be these two photos with a white space. So I'll embellish that differently too. But this is a good way to kind of gauge where you want to put your embellishments if you're unsure. So I'll probably kind of follow that just because it's very similar to what they're doing there. On here for journaling, it does suggest writing in a little square. But since I'm going to have another page, I'm not going to worry about journaling on here. I'm going to journal on the other page that I do with the same look. So I think I will mostly, I love this love at first bite. I know that color is a little different, but I think it could still work. These foodie truck, I think it's foodie truck embellishments are super cute and they match pretty well with previous collections. That's delicious too. That's kind of subtle and what's cooking? Ha. Count the memories and not the calories. Yep, that's Disney in a nutshell. Comfort food for sure. Tasty. This green matches very well. Yeah, I think I like those the most. I'm not going to use all these. I'm just setting them aside here to see what I want to do. I don't like having too many words either on a page. So I think if I do a title, it will be on that other page as well. So I could do a few little words here. I'm slowly weeding these out. I like the green a lot because it goes. This I love for Disney in general, but I could use it another time. I think I need something a little more subtle. I'll put one in each corner and then I'll look through here. There's a lot of titles on here too, so that's interesting. The flames are kind of funny, just because a lot of this is flame broiled and flame whatever. Let's see. What do I want to do? As you can see, this is a kind of a summer-based collection. Again, we have a lot of words. And I don't like putting too many words on a page for embellishments. So the little hearts might be fun. Maybe I'll use those. Let's see. I like the barbecue sauce too. That, like, they're known for their sauce there. They have like a sauce bar. Like I said, if you haven't been to Polite Pig in Disney Springs, go. Please go. Do yourself a favor and go. Alright. So usually I go off camera to embellish, but I'll stick around with you for a minute. Just because sometimes I move things around anyway, and I'm like, no, I don't like that. Oh yeah. It's just a little daunting. You know, that might be cute in the center. Maybe I'll do that there. Tasty, delicious. Yeah, it's fine. It was both. It was all of it. I like this. Don't want to cover my photo too hard. Could always fill a square with this and kind of overlap. That might be cute. Yeah, I think I like the tasty in the middle. Could add some things too. See, I don't want to get too overly crazy here. The little grill's kind of fun. So yeah, I'll probably play around with this a little bit. I will go ahead and sign off, but definitely make sure you guys post your completed layouts in my Ashley Scrappy VIP so I see it. So that way you can get in on, you know, the drawing. And I just love to see what you guys do. It's just fun to see everybody's different takes on these sketches. Because we're all working on different things for one, and we all have different styles. So it's just fun. And that's one thing that's fun about the Scrappy Camps I do, is we all see each other's stuff, and we can comment and encourage each other. And it's just a lot of fun. So see what each other does, and just, you know, glean some inspiration from each other. So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and then I will post my finished page. As you can see, it's pretty close, so it's going to look a lot like this. And then once I do my other page, maybe I'll share that as well. That we can kind of see them both together. But yeah, for now, I'm going to say goodbye and happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys have a good one. Have a cozy time with family and enjoy so much yummy food. And yeah, make sure you post it so you can get in on the prize. So if you need any help with that, shoot me a message and I can direct you. So you guys have a great morning.